Hi, this is Robert Clinkenbeard and David Anderson with the Commercial Landscaper Podcast. We're going to take 20 minutes of your life to deliver some amazing content from accomplished leaders and business owners to provide you some value, to help you scale your business, to become a better father, and push yourself to higher goals personally. We hope you really enjoy these shows, and we really encourage you to share this with your friends and network to help share these messages. I'm super excited to announce a new partnership we have with Site Recon. If you're tired of measuring properties, the Site Recon platform fully automates the measurements so you can then focus on sales. Think measurements, think Site Recon. This is the Commercial Landscapers Podcast. I'm super excited to have Ami Kassar, the CEO of Multifunding and also the author of The Growth Dilemma. Ami also contributes to many major news channels. Welcome, Ami.
Pleasure to be with you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Glad you could be on. I know you're really busy these days with everything going on. So, there's a lot of confusion still out there regarding the PPP funding and the second round coming out. So give us a quick overview of how you're involved in that and what type of things you're seeing out there in the marketplace.
So I think that you have to put the second round of PPP into context. So when PPP came out the first time, none of us knew if the world was going to end next week. And there was a relief program out there to help businesses survive. And almost every business I know took advantage of it. And there was an attestation that basically said, you were taking this money because you're not sure of what ongoing needs of your business. You needed to support the ongoing needs of your business. So it was a pretty loose attestation because of all the complete unpredictability in the world. Now we're almost amazingly 10 months later, and the second round of PPP is out, and it's not for everybody. And if you're not eligible for it, consider yourself blessed. Really, to get it, you have to prove that your gross receipts are down at least 25% one quarter this year over the same quarter last year, and one quarter in 2020 over the same quarter in 2019, or in aggregate, you're down in 2020, 25% over 2019. And then once you make that cutoff, you then to make another attestation again that you need the money to support the ongoing operations of your business. So the reality is that a lot of businesses, at least in the world that we work in, aren't going to be eligible for it. If you're not, take a breath. That's okay. It's not meant for everybody now. This is our grandkids' money, and it's okay. You're blessed.
That's good. I mean, because I've come across some companies that received the first round of PPP, and it actually ended up they haven't necessarily needed to use it. So we're pretty much just been sitting in a bank account and trying to figure out, how to use it. And, a lot of them are still trying to understand and how to get it forgiven. And then obviously you get then this whole new change of administration, you get the second round. So I hear a lot about business owners that are just completely confused on what's going on. They're trying to sift their way through. And I really appreciate all the work and all the messages that you're sending out.
Here's my advice. Take a breath, okay? Slow down. So you got the first round of PPP, and most people did. Now's the time to sort out the forgiveness of that if you haven't already tried to. There are some additional expenses that are now eligible for forgiveness, and in the new legislation, if your first round of PPP was for under $150,000 or less, they've actually simplified the forgiveness process, which is good. So tackle that. Work with your accountant. Work with your bank. There's no reason anymore not to get the PPP forgiveness application in. Everyone should be beyond their 24 weeks, and work with your CPA and just wrap that up and be finished. And you have a little balance of the loan. You have a little balance of the loan that you have to pay off. Most of it will be forgiven and be done with it. So that's the one hand. Then, Robert, I gave an analogy the other day about if a tornado hit a neighborhood, and with no rhyme or reason, one house on one side of the street just got hit and destroyed. It has to be completely rebuilt. And the house next to it had some windows bashed out, but that was it. There's nothing fair about that for the person whose house got decimated. There's nothing rational about it, but it's just the way it is. Some businesses got decimated, their houses got destroyed, and they have to basically rebuild from scratch. And other businesses were slightly scathed. If your business was slightly scathed, you're not going to get a second round of PPP, and count your blessings and be thankful that your business didn't get decimated. If your business got decimated, the second round of PPP is there for you to help you. It's sort of that simple in my opinion.
Right. Okay. No, I like that. And with the change of administration, I mean, how do you see that direction changing going into the balance of 2021 and beyond? Do you see that?
The administration has a focus on underserved businesses that I think is really important, and also I think is not enough. So I don't know if you've been on there. I've been wasting time and not wasting time. My ADD has been kicking in. I've been playing around a little bit with the new Clubhouse app.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I've heard about that.
And what I've learned, what's actually interesting there, at least in the business circles, is there's a lot of mentorship going. You're finding a lot of underserved businesses and entrepreneurs, sometimes people of color, sometimes not. I'm blown away to find out they're completely entitled to PPP or EIDL. They just didn't even know it or understand it, or they just have absolutely no idea what programs are available to them or not. And there are millions of businesses like that down there on the street. It's not that they got in the back of the line. They never got in the line because they never understood, but there were programs to help them. There's a massive need for what I call financial education 101 in the underserved communities, not just from the financial side, but from the mentorship side and the support side and the help side to help, whether it's the Uber driver or small one-pop business or trying to get something small off the ground. And I think that's going to be a big push of the Biden administration and a program. However, I don't think that's going to be enough to fuel the economic recovery. And I think that while the businesses that have held their own during the pandemic or grown during the pandemic don't need government handouts, we do need to make sure that they have liquidity, ability to borrow, incentives to hire and grow, because whether you like it or not, or it's fair or not, a lot of the jobs that people were employed by the houses that got hit in the tornado are going to have to move to the houses that survived it. And we need to make sure that we're bolstering up those houses as well.
So when going back to the point you mentioned about the underserved people or communities, I think sometimes there's a tendency to stay away from the establishments. How do you, what, in your opinion, what do you feel is the best way to try and get that message out there to say, hey, there is programs out there is some loans or relief out there, and starting to educate that group?
I don't think it's something we're going to solve overnight. This was a problem before the pandemic. It's been intensified since the pandemic.
Right.
I wrote a blog post the other day. I wish I had the time or the resources to do it. I don't, but someone would be almost like Teach for America. Someone were to consider a program almost like Accounting for America to go into these communities and help with making sure their businesses are set up properly, that they're doing the proper tax filings, that they have the proper basic accounting systems to run and manage a business. That would go a long way and provide mentorship and guidance. That would go a long way in helping these businesses know their tax status, their filings, be able to get help when they need it, et cetera, et cetera. And it's a massive problem that probably requires a good amount of feet on the street and resources in the community. And I certainly hope that the Biden administration will tackle it in some form of public-private partnership and work to get it. But it's not something you're going to fix in a day or a week. It's a long-term problem that should have been addressed before the pandemic started.
Right.
It wasn't. It hasn't been addressed for a long time, and I hope it be addressed now.
Yeah.
These aren't businesses that hang out in EO circles, or this might be a business that's I met on Clubhouse last night a woman who's got a little tiny moving business, and she makes $2,000-3,000 a month and doing little moving jobs in her neighborhood, and she needs a truck. A truck is $10,000 or $15,000, and she doesn't have the money, and she needs a loan to get it. There are programs out there to help her, but she's not aware of them or how to find them and how to get them. That has nothing to do with PPP or EIDL, but it speaks to the scope, and there are millions of people like that, and we need to give them the support and the help in their communities to do that. And maybe there is an online part of that. I don't know, and I wish I had the time and the effort to try to fix that. I don't, but it's a big issue.
Yeah, I mean, I know you've been working around the clock to try and educate all the people that you can do, and really do appreciate that. Ami, to just talk about some of the, I know you can't go through every single one, but give us some examples of some of the other programs out there, because, there are people that are needing help. There are people that talk about some of the best times to start a business or buy a business is during, a downturn. I certainly remember my business, and we started that back in 2001. 2011. So just talk about some of the other programs out there that are available to budding entrepreneurs.
Yeah, Robert, let's speak about this. Actually, we are launching next Monday, and probably by the time, I don't know when you're going to play this podcast, it'll be live. But on February 1st, we're launching a massive campaign called SBA Ignite. And the goal of the campaign is to teach 1 million business owners and entrepreneurs about the SBA and conventional SBA lending and how it can help you. And actually, as part of the newest Relief Act, there are incredible SBA benefits. SBA lending is a good deal usually, but now, through now and the end of September or when money runs out, the SBA has waived all government guarantee fees. And if you get a new SBA loan or refinance for new investment or use the SBA to refinance your existing debt, your first 6 months of payment will be waived up to $9,000 a month and completely forgiven. And that's principal and interest. So let's say, there's one particular SBA loan we do a lot for businesses for $350,000. We pick $350 because for $350 there's no lien on the house, which people like, and you get a $350,000 SBA loan for 10 years. You pay no fees, and your first 6 months of payment are gone, and the savings are like $31,000.
Wow. Okay, that's significant.
And it's significant, and it goes up, and you can get people to realize you can get SBA loans for working capital, to acquire a business, or buy a partner, or expansion, for recapitalize your business for up to $5 million. And if it's for owner-occupied real estate, you can go to $12.8 million. Or actually, if you slap a solar panel on that sucker, you can go to $25.6 million. So we're going to be embarking on a massive campaign to try to educate as many people in the community as possible. Just basic knowledge about important knowledge about the SBA, because I think it's one of the best kept secrets out there and completely misunderstood.
Right. And again, it comes back to education, comes back to communication. And I know you send out some daily insights on, just some of the things that are going on out there. I mean, are you having a great deal of success? Are you getting a great deal of following with those insights?
Yeah, it's really hard to measure. It's interesting. We're days away from the 11th anniversary of when I started Multifunding. I have that same youthful, nervous feeling in my gut today as I did 11 years ago. We grew a lot last year, and we expect to grow a lot this year. And so there's so many moving parts. We're not necessarily sure how to measure everything, but we just wake up in the morning with the common mission of that team to do good and to educate and to provide information in hopefully understandable and useful ways. People end up wanting to use our services, terrific, and if they take the information, they do something else with it, that's okay. On this whole SBA Ignite program, we're not going to charge anyone for the education. We are going to ask if people choose to, they will be able, in lieu of paying for it, be able to make donations to this really cool nonprofit called Food Connect.
Okay.
And what they do is they will say they have $1,000. They'll give it to a struggling restaurant, and that struggling restaurant will go in turn and make 100 meals. And those 100 meals will be sent off to a food shelter that needs to feed, or a homeless shelter that needs to feed.
No, that's great. That's tremendous. You do that because there are a lot of people struggling out there. So
yeah, it's just a tough time out there, and I just feel that this is sort of I don't want to call it my calling, but our duty and our responsibility and our honor, really, to try to offer as much help and guidance as we can.
Cool. That's awesome. Now, if people wanted to, either find out more about you, get in communication with you, your team, what's the best what's the best way for them to do that?
You can reach out to us at multifunding.com. We also have a community site up where our blog is and our daily posts go up at realtime.inc.com. We have a new Facebook group out where we're discussing a lot of these issues, and soon our SBA Ignite platform will be up if it's not already up by the time this goes live.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So lots of places.
Yeah, there are lots of places. And if you were to leave the audience with one underlying message on how they navigate through these, everything going on these days, what would your message be?
About this, it's a different way to think about it. But let's say you're not eligible for the second round of PPP. Don't be be pissed off. Consider yourself blessed. Now say to yourself, maybe what am I going to do to figure out in my company how to employ 1, 2, 3, or a handful of new people this year? How am I going to grow? Maybe that's your responsibility to the economy, to the country. So, and you want to do it well so you can sustain those jobs. But what's it going to take to grow and evolve and push your business forward? And I'm hopeful that now that we're behind the election, got through the inauguration, and it's the beginning of the year, and vaccinations are coming out, and there's hopefully some light at the end of the tunnel. People are able to sort of get out of that feeling of dismay into a feeling of, all right, let's start trying to figure out what's next and what we're going to do and how we're going to sustain ourselves, because America's still going to be here next year.
Yeah.
And it's up to us, I think, to do our part. That's what entrepreneurs do. That's, in my opinion, our calling and what we need to do. Put that risk flame back in us.
No, I agree 100%. It's really easy to get caught up in that negativity and get upset about something not going your way. But if you channel that same energy into trying to grow your company, to land grab, to create more jobs, then I think that's also a way better way of channeling that energy. So, Ami, it's been a pleasure talking to you as normal. I really appreciate, again, all the hard work and all your messaging and everything you do for the entrepreneurs, the EO community, and finance overall. So appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, and be well.
Okay, take care. Thanks, Ami.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
Okay, cheers. Okay, bye-bye. Hopefully that was pure dead brilliant for you today, and you got some great takeaways for your business or your personal life. This is Robert Clinkybeard along with David Anderson, and we'd love to get you and your friends to join us in our future journey. 2 quick things before you go, listeners. Check out our website, commerciallandscapers.com. You can subscribe, you can share with your friends, but more importantly, check out our new sponsor, Site Recon. We're going to make your sales process, your estimating way easier, so you can spend more time in your proposals. Thanks everyone. Cheers. Bye.